Right now in the United States, there's over 2.5 million people that are headed for a potential disaster. The problem is they have no clue what is coming because they are being told that everything is perfectly fine, this is safe, this is efficient, this is effective, yet that is not entirely true. I'm going to address what's going on here, why so many people are impacted, and what is going to happen moving forward. The Biden administration is already jumping in on this. That's the good news. The problem is it's going to take years to fix this issue. So I'm going to address what's going on in just a moment. All I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So what is going on right now? Well, here's the problem. Right now, the United States, or much of the United States, is experiencing a winter freeze. We are seeing winter storm warnings, snow, freezing rain, ice, just freezing temperatures. Temperatures down below 0 degrees Fahrenheit. That is cold. Now, here's what's going on. People that own electric vehicles are being stranded. Currently in the United States, there's more than 2.5 million electric vehicles. That is a problem because electric vehicles take longer to charge in the cold or in the extreme heat. They also do not last as long. They don't go as far. That's a problem. I want to show you this. And this right here, I think you're going to think it's interesting because this is exactly what's happening across multiple states and in many cities. Look at this.
Oh, we got a bunch of dead robots out here.
Dead robots. Dead Teslas packed the parking lot at this Tesla supercharging station in Oak Brook, a scene mirrored in other supercharging stations around the Chicago area.
It doesn't matter where you're from. If you live on the East Coast, you live up north, and it gets very cold, that's part of the problem. Is during the winter months, your car may not start. You may not be able to enter your car, or it may not be able to travel as far. This is part of the issue, and this is what we are going to face moving forward. Now, one thing I can tell you is people are having to push their cars, get them towed to different places because that's their only option moving forward. Now, one thing I can tell you though is if you own an electric car, it's not all your fault. Now, should you have a gas-powered car? Based off of what experts are saying, and these are not experts on, energy or anything like that. These are ones just, car experts saying if you have an electric car, that's perfectly fine, but make sure you protect yourself and have a gas-powered vehicle as well. I want to read you some comments. Okay, these are comments that people made here on the channel, but also on other places as well. So right now, the Biden administration has a plan. Their plan is they want 50% of all new vehicles by 2030. They want 50% of all those vehicles sold to be electric. Okay? That's in, a little over 6 years. Now, at the rate we are going, we expect we will have at least 60%, the Biden administration wants 50%, but at the rate we're going, we are expected to be at 60% of all vehicles sold in the United States by 2030 will be electric. That means 60% of the vehicles, 60% of new vehicles, not 60% of all vehicles in the U.S., but 60% of new vehicles. So we could see almost new vehicles just sitting there doing nothing if it's too cold or too hot. Now I want to read you this. Okay, there's 5 comments here. I'm going to read you a few of them. One person says, "This is a joke. I couldn't even enter my car this morning. The freezing rain created a layer of ice over my car, so my door handles wouldn't pop out. So much for me trying to be more energy efficient." They don't say what kind of car they have. My guess is it's a Tesla. Because Teslas, handles do pop out. You push them, pop out, you open the door. One other person says, "It'll drain pretty fast. This cold is brutal. It's draining the battery. I can't even get inside the car. My battery drained down to 5%, which is faster than normal. Long story short, here I am. I have to tow it out this way. Again, another person having to get their car towed. I was actually talking to a friend of mine the other day. They actually had their Tesla towed because their parking brake froze. Okay, their parking brake froze. They could get into their car, they could warm it up, but they couldn't move it. So they had to get their car towed. One other person said, I sat at a charging station for 1 hour before finally getting into an open spot. My battery went from 18% to 25% in 8 hours. I have never seen chargers charge so slowly in my life. One other person says, I think EV owners are discouraged for the first time, and it's what gas car owners knew decades ago, that when it gets really cold, you don't want to get too low on your power supply. And the last one says, I bought my very first electric car, a Tesla, back in October of 2023, thinking it would be the perfect car for me. I drive from Chicago to Milwaukee every day, so this was going to save me on gas. However, these freezing temperatures made my journey impossible. I would attempt to fully charge my car at home each night, but it only got to 65%. Then my battery would drop to 40% once I got the car warmed up enough to drive and see out. And in this weather, I'm not going to brave the drive with only 40% on my car. I believe from Chicago to Milwaukee, I believe it's under 2 hours. In the snow, have no clue, but that's a problem. Okay? Now, this is just how the cold weather is affecting car owners. Okay? I do have some good news though. The Biden administration, or the Biden-Harris administration, they're planning to do something. They are announcing $623 million in grants to continue building out electric vehicle charging network. That's the good news. They announced that just a few days ago, about a week ago. So good news there. Now, here's the thing. Just because we're going to put in a $623 million into electric vehicle charging stations, that does not mean that's enough. It is the infrastructure that is the problem. It's not the vehicles. The vehicles run perfectly fine, but it's the infrastructure. There's not enough charging stations. That's one. The charging stations that we do have are not going to work if it's too cold or too hot. We've seen this. Some people were saying that, and this is how electric vehicles don't perform very well in the cold or even extreme heat. They say the battery is used to warm up the car. Because the battery is used to warm up the car, it drains the battery. So if you get your car to, let's say, 80%, and now you got to warm up your car, it may be down to 70% by the time the car warms up enough for you to get into it. Okay. They also say charging stations will sometimes stop working during extreme temperatures. There was a person, probably on Fox News or something, where they were using the charging station. It was working, then all of a sudden it stopped working. One person also put in their credit card, or attempted to put their credit card into the machine in another charging station, put their credit card into the machine to pay for it. Guess what? The whole machine was frozen. Their card wouldn't actually go in. There was ice over the front of it. Well, we have to think of those things. We have to fix that. Another person said, in the extreme cold, sometimes the charging cable is frozen to the machine. So you can't even pull the charging cable off in order to plug it into your car. It's a problem. But again, all these things are just little problems. The issue, though, is if we do not fix these problems, and at the same time we're trying to get more people into electric vehicles, it will just be chaos and panic for years to come. So that is where we're at this time. I know a lot of people were blaming Tesla and Elon Musk. A lot of people were blaming the Biden administration for trying to make people go EV. But here's the thing. You do not have to buy an electric vehicle. You can buy a gas-powered vehicle. And as experts say, if you get an electric vehicle, also have a gas-powered vehicle just in case. So again, that is where we're at this time. As we get more information on the whole electric vehicle fiasco, I promise I will bring you the latest news and updates as soon as we get it. But that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.